Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today I'd like to take a look at an extension to the Blue Moon chord progression. What we're going to do is embed some chord substitutions within the Blue Moon chord progression. Just to review, the Blue Moon chord progression is the 1 chord going to the 6 chord to the 2 chord going to the 5 chord. Now that's in its simplest form. Now you can put color tones in that. In other words, it could be the 1 chord to the 2 with a 7th in it, to the 6 with a 7th in it, to the 2 with a 7th in it, to the 5-7 with a 7th in it, 5 with a 7th in it, okay? Or any kind of combination. You could have a 1, 9, 1 major 9th, and you can have an A minor 9th. In other words, you can put all kinds of chords into it, but its basic form it's 1, 6, 2, 5. And that's true in any key. If you're in the key of F, it's 1, 6, 2, 5. If you're in the key of G, 1, 6, 2, 5. So just to review, that's the Blue Moon chord progression that we all played when we were kids, and if we were parents, we probably told our kids to knock it off because it got old after a while. But anyway, that's one of the most used chord progressions. Now, what we're going to do is add some chords to that progression that aren't really part of the progression. They're chord substitutions for it, or additions, maybe I should say. They could be either substitutions or additions, and we're going to embed them in the chord progression itself. Now, what do I mean by embed? Well, you hear on the news all the time that a certain reporter with United Press or some news service is embedded with a unit over in Afghanistan or in Iraq. They're an embedded reporter. That doesn't mean they're part of the Army or part of the Navy or part of the SEALs. That means they're with them and they travel with them, but they're not really part of them, are they? Well, it's the same way in chord substitutions. The substitutions I'm going to show you are not part of the 1, 6, 2, 5, but they're added to it or along the way. Now, one way to do it is to, you already learned, I think, about chord substitutions, that you can slide in to any chord from above. For example, I could start on the C chord, and as I go to the A minor chord, I might slide into it by playing B flat. That's a half step above A. See? Blue moon. See that? And as I go to the D minor chord, the 2 chord, I might play a E flat 7th chord, because that's a half step above D minor 7th. And as I slide into C, I could play D flat like so. Allow me to speed that up a little bit. See that? Okay. Now another way to do it is to ask yourself into what other chord will this melody note fit. So the first melody note is G if I'm playing in the key of C. Okay. So I could ask myself, what does G fit into besides C? Well, it fits into E minor 7th, doesn't it? It fits into E flat. So I might go like this: C, blue, C, E flat, and that goes right down to D. You see that? Okay, so I can always embed chord substitutions in a progression, including the Blue Moon chord progression. Okay, and it just makes it a lot easier. Now, let me play it in a kind of ballad style and do it slower so maybe you can see some of this stuff. Get the idea? Okay, so between the basic chords, you can put in chord substitutions, and that's true of any given song. You don't have to do it just to the Blue Moon chord progression. I just did it to that progression to show you that it's possible to do it in any context at all. Okay, so that's it for today, and tomorrow we'll be back with another piano tip. So thanks for being with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.